Alright, I'm going to mount this, or try to mount this bar. It's a little longer than I want it to be. Probably in this area where there's a 2x4, and unfortunately it has to be mounted vertically. These are made to go horizontal, but they don't make one with the mounting to go vertical. So if you look at this, there is no hole down where the white label is. There's a hole there, so it's got the 2x4 is only 1.5 inches wide, so you put a screw here and normally a screw here, but you can't do that. So we're going to have to use the two bottom ones. We'll put a screw on an angle to go into the 2x4, and hopefully this ring will fit over the screw head, which is going to be on an angle on the lower one here, if you know what I mean. I'm going to let Tommy do the video here. Beam right here, okay, 2x4. 2x4 is only 1.5 inches wide. So obviously we can't use these two holes, which is normally what you'd use if you were mounting it horizontal, because it would fit perfectly in there. But it's not going to go horizontal, it's going to go vertical. So she can grab it at different points. I wanted a 12-inch one. Over here, I don't know if you can see it, I've got one that was put in years ago, but there's a double 2x4 in this area, and I couldn't get this exact same thing at Home Depot, and these are fake chrome anyways, because the chrome is getting pitted up here. So if I was to mount this like this, first of all, the 2x4 is over here and over here. The bar is too far over. She can't use that. So it can't be done on the horizontal. It has to be done on the vertical. Now, what I got to do here is, because it's longer, I'm going to make it the same height as the towel rack here. So I got to do some measurements. And then what I got to do is define the edges of the 2x4. Once I establish how high this is going to be, and the screws that came with it are quite long, but I've got the decking screws if I need to use them. The question is, we're going to put one in here that's going to be the top, and because you can't get one in the middle because there is no hole and you can't get the screwdriver in here anyways, so we'd have to use one of these holes here, and we put the screw in on an angle so it'll go into the 2x4, but the head is going to be on an angle, so the cover may or may not fit on. If it doesn't, I'll be forced to take out that screw and just use one on the top and, of course, one on the bottom. So we're going to take some measurements, and we'll be right back. All right, what I am going to be doing now, we got a straight edge basically on the top of these knobs here for the towel rack. And we're up a little higher than the one over here I showed you, the chrome one, simply because we can't have this thing going down too low. If she should fall, she could hit her head on the thing here. She needs a grab bar when she comes into the bathroom, so we have to put this in here. So this is the 2x4 here. So we just do that didn't even show. That's why I use black magic markers. My pencils never work. They're always dull.
Nobody's home.
Nobody's home. Okay, there it is.
Taking a cup of tea and put it in the microwave and heat it up.
All right. Now, we are going to find the end of the 2x4 by try to find the center, which is a staple here. They staple when they make mobile homes. The sheetrock in is a staple here, so that's probably about the middle, but there's no guarantee. Right there. So I'm going to put a small nail hole here, and if I hit the beam, I'll try to find it. So going by the staple here, we got one here. So that's probably the center. So we have to work in the center anyways, but we want to make sure that we are not off center where it would split the wood. So judging from the sound, sometimes it's better to just use your finger.
Oh, I see.
Now you see, normally you'd mount these horizontal and you would have a screw here and a screw here, so you'd get two holes. Here, because we got them mounted on the vertical, you only got one screw. You can't put a screw here, you're going to go into the sheetrock. Same with this. So we put one here, and then we go one on an angle. So close as we can tell, that's where we want to be. Now normally I would take the nail and bang a nail here, bang a nail here, and be on the outside. Try to feel where the outside of the beam is. But I don't think we're going to do that. We're going to try to go center to center here. Here and down here. Once we get that established down here. So we're going to tap that in there. And then we got to pre-drill because these screws will not go in unless you pre-drill. Okay, so we're sitting into the wood here, so we don't have to really go on the outside like I was going to do to find out where the center is. We are pretty well centered, judging by the sound of that. That's good and solid. So we would hang that right there.
There we go.
All right. What we got to do is establish this end down here. And I can tell by the sound of it that we are pretty good. And the staples are way over here, so I think they might have missed it. So what we got to do here is get this thing off, and we got to get these screws out of here too. So, all right, I'm going to be right back. I got to get the drill and drill gun.
It's got a light on it.
Just want to make sure we're going in deep enough, because if not, when we drive it in and you don't pre-drill like this, and the drill bit is the right side, it goes down to the root of the thread, so that you're not drilling the hole completely, you know, in other words, too big. So if we don't pre-drill this will probably only go half to 3/4 of the way in, and then you're stuck out like that, you know, and that's not good. So now before we put that up there, we got to measure the bottom where we're going to be. Now I drilled in about 3/4 the length of this threaded part of the screw. So according to this wants to hang. Of course, the house is not level anymore. So,
We can't take it with us. You have to put it in a pressure kind of a...
I'm going bowling tonight.
always got to read a ruler upside down, no matter how you do it, you know. I want to read from this to the 16-inch center over here. Right on this trim, there's where the two sheetrocks come together. It should be a 2x4 right there. Okay, so in the center of that, we're 20 inches. All right. So let's get the pencil. Drop to my bony knees here.
You were busy today, huh?
Yeah, got a little flap to tell you about in the car afterwards. Right now, let's see where we are here. "20 inches in the center, which is Alright. Oh.
So both my parents died suddenly.
Well, Tommy's mentor, Dave, just came and picked them up, so we're going to kind of have to do the best I can by myself here. Let me just see something here. Am I going to be able to get my drill driver in here? Because in this hole, or in this hole, because I'm left-handed, we'll do this hole. We go on an angle so that we end up with 2 screws in this, in the top and 2 screws in the bottom. So should have my reading glasses. Now, I think we should have pre-drilled that hole bigger. We may have to use 2 hands on this. That's the problem. We'll probably use the decking screws on this. But I'll try to drive that in. We know one thing, we're in the 2x4, that's for sure. So, let me see if I can set you up. How's that? Now, if I can push hard, but if it starts slipping, we're going to have to take the screw out. Yep. We can't use that. Leave it in for a holder for now, and put the other one in on the bottom. We got 2.5-inch decking screws here. I don't know if it's going to work or not. If that don't work, I got to get a longer bit or pull this out more so and tighten it here and try to get it in there. Well, and that screw is on an angle, so the head is sticking up a little.
I stepped out of the shower and I got a good look at myself. Hot-bellied, bald-headed man, I thought I was somebody else. I caught my reflection in the mirror on the bathroom door. I just don't look good naked anymore. So I'm going upstairs and turn my bedroom mirror to the wall. I hung it there when I was trim and tall. I'd stand there and smile and flex and strut until my arm got sore.
Okay, I got rid of the pencil marks with an eraser, I guess, as much as I could. Got a little dark area in here. I don't know if that's pencil or that's part of the metal showing. I don't really know, but it's good and solid. So, we'll pick up my tools, and we're done with this job. Now on to a car flap. Hello there, and welcome to a flap. Well, it is not good news. However, it's better than buying another car. I got a call from the second garage, the one that's working on the car now. They cannot get a rebuilt for that year and model computer. As far as he knows, they're not available. The situation is there is a computer, new old stock, in another state. Several thousand miles away, I guess. I don't recall the state that it was in, but it's kind of Midwest or towards the West Coast. Not California, but anyways, new old stock. They have it. They want $1,000 for it, plus the shipping. It is guaranteed for 12,000 miles or 1 year. The garage that is doing the work will also guarantee it for 12,000 miles or 1 year, whichever comes first. That's fine. However, that's the only computer that he was able to locate. Other than you can't even get them in the junkyard, they don't have them. He said in Canada they are, but he don't really want to get them. They have a different emission system up there, and it probably wouldn't work. And you're buying this a junkyard computer, basically. So it's $1,000 for the computer. Then he's got to program it, and he does it through the dealer, I guess. They do it online. I'm not sure how they do it. He told me you don't have to take the car to the dealer to do it. So that's the option. Then there's the towing. And then if I go the Uber driver way, that's added to the bill. But without the Uber, just shy of $2,000. I know what you're going to say. The car isn't worth it. Well, you're not going to get a car that's running unless it's from an individual. Then you got to deal with the motor vehicle and inspection, emissions, and all that crap. And if I did get one, even for $1,000, there's going to be repairs that are needed on it, and by the time I get through, it's the same thing. So my wife and I discussed it very thoroughly. The other option would be, it would cost roughly about $500 for him to fix the ground for his labor. The towing charge, everything included, would be just shy of $500. But he can't guarantee it. The computer could crap out somewhere else, could be bad. There is absolutely no guarantee on that. So we decided, let's bite the bullet and go for it. It's going to be tough, but we got to do it. Because as I said, you're not going to get a car. I mean, we were very lucky. 8 or 9 years ago when we got that 2003 Dodge Caravan for $1,100, but we had to put a lot of money into it in the years we had it. A radiator, an alternator, a water pump, quite a bit of work went into it, money-wise, and of course brakes you always have to do because we get about $35,000 on the brakes, and that's all you're going to get on them, unless you buy maybe the premium, and then you might get $50,000 or so. So, and I'm not hard on the brakes. I anticipate my stops. So, you add all that stuff up. You've got to put all that into another vehicle that you're paying $1,000 or $2,000 for. Now, the downside of this is the computer's guaranteed for 12 months or 12,000 miles. However, if the computer craps out, they don't have another computer. So I did ask him about that, and he did not have an answer for us. He says, I really don't know. Because if the computer craps out, then they don't have another computer to replace it. We're SOL, and you know what SOL is. And it doesn't stand for sugar either. So, if we went to repair and add an external ground on the computer, it'll run, because he said that it ran, there's no engine check lights or anything else. But obviously something got corroded in the computer, circuit board or whatever. He says he don't know of anybody that could rebuild them. He can get rebuilds, but not for this 2003 Dodge Caravan. So we have to bite the bullet and go $2,000. That's a little under $2,000. So that's where we're at, and it won't be ready until next week because Monday or Tuesday he should be getting the computer shipped to him. So I may have to cancel some doctor appointments. My wife needs to have things done, but tests and stuff, but there's nothing we can do. She can't climb into the big van. So that's where we're at right now. And I know I'm probably, if I had the comments open, I'd have all kinds of criticism as to why you want to put that much money into a car that old. Well, as I said, you cannot get a good running turnkey vehicle for $2,000 even, because used cars on the market are almost as much as a new car, and I don't want to deal with the motor vehicle inspections and everything else. I just don't want to deal with that. I'd like to be in a position where if we had to get a car, just, you get it from a dealer or a garage or something, and let them do all the paperwork and the running around and the inspections and everything. I mean, yes, we have to take it down for emissions. That's only a few miles from here. That's not the problem. The problem is when you first get a car, you need all these things done, especially if you buy it out of state. Years ago I bought cars, but, you have to deal with the damn motor vehicle all the time, and, it's not easy, and the paperwork and things are a lot harder now, and, you can't get a car that don't have a computer unless you want to get something that's 40 years old, which I have no problem with. I'd love to have a 1930, 31 Model A. I'd love to, or a coupe or something in the 40s, 30s and 40s, 37 Plymouth, with a big stick shift on the floor, with the window shades that pull down. My uncle had one of those. I think it was a 37 Plymouth, but that was back in 1953, so I was only 10 years old then. But I love those old cars. So, hey, you get something like that, then you don't have to worry about the computers. But getting parts, well, guys do drive them around, and, they can get parts and stuff like that. But with me now, I'm not as active on things as I used to be. Well, anyways, that's the update there. comments are left off, of course, but I just wanted to give you an update. So if all goes well, we should get the car back next week, and hopefully we don't have to go the route of getting another vehicle. It's, you're damned if you do and damned if you don't, because if you put money in it, something else will go. They could become money pits. But, I've known a friend of mine who had a transmission put in his truck, pickup truck, and it cost him $4,000, And it's an older pickup truck. I don't remember what year he told me. I got terrible memory for numbers. But I think it was in late 90s, early 2000s. I don't really know. But anyways, he's probably listening and shouting on the computer now. It's such. Anyways, but yeah, it's $4,000. So I mean, so we're spending $2,000, and we need the car. I need to get her to the doctors, because as it stands now, we still do not have the wheelchair. And there's too short a notice to have the senior center pick her up in a wheelchair van, even if we had it now, because they need some advance notice on these things. So that's where we're at right now, folks. And I just figured I'd throw this video out to you. And there's a lot of thinking about it, but my wife was really saying, let's just go for it. We can't take it with us, and the way things are going now, who the heck knows how long we're going to be around. It's on my mind all the time, and it's depressing, and that's basically the reason why, with things the last few years are going, that I gave up Uncle Dorkle in comedy, because, to be honest with you, the last thing on my mind is comedy. I do like to watch it on YouTube and, well, nothing on TV, but on YouTube and stuff and so forth. But as far as making it, no. All right, that's it, folks. That's the update. I want to thank you for watching. Take care, everybody.